There is a small brown bottle sitting in almost every perfumer's workstation. It costs about $4 at any drugstore in America. It has no scent of its own. It doesn't come from Paris. It doesn't have a designer name stamped on the glass. And yet, the people who actually mix fragrances for a living quietly use it to make a $20 bottle of perfume outlast a $300 one. Most customers will never hear about it because the entire fragrance industry depends on one simple fact. Your perfume has to die by lunchtime, so you'll buy more of it. That is not a conspiracy theory, that is the business model. Fragrance is one of the highest margin products in the beauty world. The faster the scent fades off your skin, the faster you walk back to the counter. So when a $4 drugstore product can stretch a cheap bottle of eau de parfum into a full year of daily wear, nobody at the top has any reason to mention it. But the people on Reddit's fragrance, designer fragrances, and the longtime reviewers on Fragrantica and Basenotes have been quietly talking about it for years. Tonight, you're going to learn exactly what it is, why it works, how to use it without ruining your scent, and which $20 bottles actually deserve the trick. Because here's the part the industry really doesn't want you thinking about. The reason your expensive perfume disappears in 2 hours has almost nothing to do with the perfume itself. It has to do with your skin, and once you understand that, the whole game changes. Let's start with the lie everybody has been sold. Walk into any department store, and a salesperson will tell you that if your fragrance doesn't last, you need a stronger concentration. Move up from eau de toilette to eau de parfum. Move from eau de parfum to pure parfum. Spend more, get more hours. And technically, yes, concentration matters. An eau de toilette is usually somewhere between 5% and 15% fragrance oil. An eau de parfum sits around 15% to 20%. A pure parfum can go up to 30% or even 40% in rare cases. More oil, more longevity in theory. But here is what they don't tell you at the counter. Two people can spray the exact same eau de parfum from the exact same bottle on the exact same day. One of them will smell incredible 12 hours later, while the other one smells like nothing by the time they finish their coffee. That is not the perfume's fault. That is skin chemistry, and more specifically, that is dry skin. Fragrance molecules need something to cling to. They need fat, they need moisture, they need a surface that holds them in place so they can evaporate slowly through the day. If your skin is dry, those fragrance molecules have nothing to grip. They flash off in the first hour, the top notes burn off, and the heart and base notes never get a chance to develop properly. You paid for a 1-2 hour fragrance, and you got a 90-minute one. The bottle isn't to blame, your skin is. And the fragrance houses know this. They have known it for decades. The perfumists who train at places like Givaudan and Fragrantica learn very early that skin is the final ingredient in any composition. Without the right canvas, even the most beautiful formula falls flat. They just don't put that on the box. So what is the $4 trick? It is, in its plainest form, an unscented petroleum-based occlusive. Plain Vaseline. Generic petroleum jelly. The little tub you can buy at any Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, or Dollar General for somewhere between $3 and $5. That's it. That's the secret weapon. You take a tiny amount, you rub it into the pulse points where you plan to spray. Your wrists, the side of your neck, behind your ears, the inside of your elbows if you're going bold. Then you spray your perfume directly over it. The petroleum jelly creates a sealed, slightly greasy surface that holds the fragrance oils in place. It slows their evaporation dramatically. Instead of the alcohol carrying the scent up into the air in the first 30 minutes, the oils stay anchored to your skin. They release gradually for hours longer than they normally would. Fragrance enthusiasts on Fragrantica and Basenotes have been quietly recommending this for over a decade. Reddit threads on our fragrance are full of people reporting that a basic Vaseline base turned a 4-hour eau de toilette into an 8 or 9 hour wear. Reviewers who test fragrances for a living have confirmed it on camera. It is not magic, it is basic chemistry. Occlusives trap volatile compounds. Volatile compounds are what perfume is made of. End of story. And before you ask, no, it does not change the smell. Petroleum jelly is genuinely odorless when it's pure. It doesn't add anything, it doesn't subtract anything, it just holds the fragrance to your skin the way your skin was supposed to hold it in the first place. Now, before I go further, if you want to know which cheap drugstore bottles actually deserve this trick, stick with me. Some of them genuinely outperform luxury fragrances that cost 10 times more. In a few minutes, I'm going to name names, including one $20 bottle that reviewers consistently compare to a famous $300 designer scent. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss it. Drop a comment and tell me the perfume that disappears off your skin the fastest, the one that betrays you before lunch. I want to see if we're all getting burned by the same bottles. And if you've got a guess about which $20 fragrance is going to take the top spot tonight, throw that in the comments too. Let's see who calls it before the reveal. Okay, back to the trick, because there are a few things you have to get right, or it backfires. First, less is more. You do not slather petroleum jelly on your neck like sunscreen. You use a thin, almost invisible layer. A pea-sized amount is enough for both wrists. If you use too much, you get a greasy feeling, your collar picks it up, and you'll hate the experience even if the scent lasts. Second, you apply it to clean, slightly damp skin if possible. Right after a shower is ideal. Your pores are open and your skin is still holding water. That combination of moisture under the occlusive layer gives you the maximum hold. Third, you spray from a reasonable distance, about 6 inches away, and you do not rub. This is where one of the biggest fragrance myths comes in, and it deserves to be killed right here. For decades, your mother and grandmother have been rubbing their wrists together after spraying perfume. Everybody does it feels natural. And it is completely wrong. The friction and heat from rubbing actually breaks down the top notes of the fragrance faster. It crushes the delicate citrus and aldehyde molecules that are supposed to greet the world first. Perfumists have been begging people to stop doing this for years. You spray, you let it sit, you let it dry down on its own. Combine that with the petroleum jelly base, and you've already doubled your longevity before you've even left the bathroom. There is one more layer to this, and it genuinely separates people who understand fragrance from people who just buy it. Your environment matters almost as much as your skin. Hot weather makes fragrance evaporate faster. Dry indoor air, especially the kind you get in American homes with central heating cranked up in the winter, pulls the moisture out of your skin and your scent along with it. Air conditioning does the same thing in summer. So the same bottle that lasts 8 hours on you in May might give you 3 hours in January. The Vaseline trick partially solves this because it creates a moisture barrier. But if you really want to maximize a cheap bottle, you also want to moisturize aggressively. An unscented body lotion under the petroleum jelly, applied right after the shower, then the jelly on the pulse points, then the spray. This will make a $20 bottle perform like something 3 times its price. This is called layering. And the luxury houses sell their own matching body lotions for $60, $80, $100 precisely because they know it works. You don't need their lotion. Any unscented drugstore moisturizer does the same job for $4. Now let's talk about why a $20 bottle is actually enough. This is where the industry really doesn't want you paying attention. The reformulation problem in modern luxury fragrance is one of the worst kept secrets in the business. The International Fragrance Association, the IFRA, has been progressively restricting and banning ingredients for safety and allergen reasons for years. Oak moss, a foundational ingredient in classic Chypre fragrances like the original Chanel Coco and Mitsuko by Guerlain, has been heavily restricted since the early 2000s. Real birch tar, certain musks, specific nitro compounds, all curtailed or eliminated. What that means in practice is that the famous classic perfume your grandmother wore in the 1970s or 1980s is not the same perfume sold under that name today. Houses quietly reformulate every few years. Sometimes to comply with regulation, sometimes to cut costs, sometimes both. The bottle looks the same, the name is the same, the juice inside is not. Longtime collectors on Basenotes have documented this obsessively. Vintage bottles of certain classics sell on the secondary market for hundreds of dollars, precisely because the new versions are considered weaker, thinner, less long-lasting. You are paying premium prices for what is often a watered-down version of something your family already owned 40 years ago. Meanwhile, smaller and cheaper brands, especially some of the ones sitting on the bottom shelf at Walmart and Target, have been formulating with surprisingly high oil concentrations. They don't have the brand prestige to coast on. They have to perform. They have to give people a reason to come back, and some of them frankly smell better than fragrances that cost 10 times as much. The names that come up over and over again in fragrance community discussions are worth knowing. Jovan Musk, which has been around since the early 1970s and still sells for under $15, gets cited constantly as a base scent that outperforms its price tag, especially when layered. Cody's classic offerings, things like Vanilla Fields and Sand and Sable, still hit the deep nostalgic notes that some modern luxury fragrances try and fail to recreate. The Bodman and Bodycology sprays at drugstores get surprisingly serious mentions from younger fragrance fans for clean, office-friendly scents. And then there's the world of dupes, which is where our fragrance clones lives and breathes. Brands like Dossier, Alt Fragrances, Okja, Alt have built entire businesses on offering side-by-side reproductions of famous luxury scents for $20 to $30 a bottle. Some of these are genuinely excellent. Reviewers blind test them against the originals and struggle to tell the difference once they're on skin. Are they identical? No. Are they 90% of the way there at 15% of the price? Often, yes. And when you take one of those $20 bottles and you pair it with the petroleum jelly base, with the moisturizer underneath, with the no rubbing rule, with the proper application on pulse points, you genuinely get something that performs as well as a luxury fragrance in real-world wear. 8, 10, even 12 hours of projection from a bottle that cost you less than a pizza. And here is the math that makes a $20 bottle last a year. A standard 50 milliliter bottle contains about 500 sprays. If you use 4 sprays a day, that bottle lasts you 125 days on its own. But with the Vaseline trick extending each application's life, most people find they need to reapply far less often. No midday touch-ups. No second spray before going out at night because the morning one has already vanished. One application in the morning carries you through the entire day. Suddenly that bottle is lasting 4, 5, 6 months at heavy use. Close to a full year if you wear fragrance only on workdays or special occasions. Compare that to the luxury buyer who burns through a $150 bottle in 2 months. They're spraying 8 times a day trying to compensate for poor longevity. You start to see why the houses are not in any hurry to put this information on a billboard. So, here's what to do tonight. Before you even finish watching anything else, go to your bathroom, find that tub of petroleum jelly that's probably already in your medicine cabinet. If you don't have one, the next time you're at any drugstore, pick up the cheapest unscented version they have. Generic store brand is fine. $3 or $4. Tomorrow morning after your shower, while your skin is still damp, put a little unscented lotion on. Then a thin layer of the jelly on your wrists and neck. Then spray your fragrance from 6 inches away. Walk out the door without rubbing anything together. Then notice, around 3 or 4 inches the afternoon, that the scent is still there. Not a ghost of it. Actually, there. That is what your perfume was supposed to smell like the whole time. That is what you have been paying for and not receiving. And once you felt that difference on your own skin, you will never look at a $300 bottle the same way again. You'll realize that the bottle was never the problem. The preparation was. The industry was counting on you not knowing. Now you do. So before you click away, do one thing for me. Drop a comment with the name of the cheap fragrance you want me to put head-to-head against a luxury bottle in the next video. I'm building a list of the most overhyped designer scents and the under $20 bottles that genuinely embarrass them on skin. I want your suggestions in there. The next one is going to name a specific drugstore fragrance that reviewers keep comparing to a famous Tom Ford scent. Once you smell them side by side, you'll understand why the counters at department stores really don't want this conversation to keep happening.